everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll share with you how to draft a Princess Dart Bustier with a stylish asymmetric neckline. This is going to be a detailed and beginner-friendly tutorial. I'm going to share with you how to draft both a deep and normal width of this neckline. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, come with me, and let's get started. So the first thing I'll do is to make sure that my pattern paper is on fold. So before you start drafting your pattern, you make sure your pattern paper is on fold because of the kind of design we'll be drafting. The next thing I'll do, I'll come down by 1 inch from my pattern paper. On that 1 inch, I'll draw a straight line. This straight line will serve as the starting line for my pattern and also the shoulder line. Once that is done, I'll place my tape from this shoulder line now and mark the shoulder to bust measurement. Shoulder to bust measurement here is 11 inches, while shoulder to under bust is 14 inches. Shoulder to waist or half length is 16 inches. Then I'll draw a straight line across this measurement. While you are drawing the lines, you make sure they are straight to achieve a perfect work. Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to label the lines. The first line is the bust line, the second is the under bust, while this last line is the half length. I'll also go ahead and mark this line here as the shoulder line. Now that I'm done with that, the next thing I'll do is to come to this bust line and take my dart. My dart measurement is 4 inches, so I'll mark the 4 inches on the bust line, the under bust, and also the half length. After marking, I'll draw a straight line on this measurement, connecting from the bust down to the half length. Now that I've taken my dart, the next thing I'll do now is to tighten my under bust. At the center front, I'll take 0.5 inch. At the side front, I'll take 1.5 inches. I'll mark the same measurement at the under bust and also at the half length line. Then I will connect it with a straight line. When connecting your lines, you make sure they are always straight. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to come down by 0.5 inch from the bust line and connect from that 0.5 inch down to the center front this way. Then I'll use my French curve to connect from that 0.5 inch, creating a nice curve for my bust at the side front this way. The next thing I'll do now, I'll come to the shoulder line and take the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is 16 inches. 16 inches divided by 2 will give me 8 inches. I'll mark the 8 inches. Then I'll also take a neck width. I'll take a basic neck width for now, 3 inches. Then at this shoulder measurement, I'll come down by 1 inch. Then I'll connect from that 3 inches down to this 1 inch, creating my shoulder slope. Once that is done, I'll place my tape from that shoulder slope down now to impute my armhole measurement. I'll be using my shoulder divided by 2 to create my armhole measurement. So I'll place my tape across this way to mark the 8 inches also. This is enough for me to achieve a straight line. Now that I'm sure that my 8 inches is straight, I'll connect it from that shoulder slope down to this 8 inches mark. Then I'll draw a straight line across this way. Now this straight line here will serve as the chest line. So on this armhole, I'll look for the midpoint and mark the midpoint of this armhole. Then at this midpoint now, I'll go in by 0.5. Before I continue, I'll draw a straight line across this chest line to indicate this chest line so that we don't get confused at any point of this tutorial. I'll go ahead and label this is my chest line. So on this chest line now, I'll place my tape and impute my chest line measurement. The chest line measurement is the bust divided by 4, which will give me 9 inches. After marking the 9 inches, I will now connect from this midpoint 0.5 inch to the shoulder slope. Then from the midpoint again, I'll connect down to the chest line measurement this way. As you can see, our bodice is coming out gradually. If you've not subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload new videos. So the next thing I'll do now is to look for the midpoint of my armhole. As you can see, I'll place my tape around this way to get the round armhole measurement. Then I'll come back again and mark the midpoint of the round armhole. I will then connect from this new midpoint now down to this dart line at the bust. As you can see, I'm making sure I place my French curve properly before I connect it. So please, when you're drafting your pattern, make sure you use pencil so that if you don't connect it very well, you can easily clean and reconnect it so you get what you want. The next thing I'll do now is to take my armhole dart. I'll take 0.75 on each side of this line. Then I'll connect it from that 0.75 down to the bust line. So once I'm done with that, I'll just come to this curve right now and blend it in to eliminate any sharp or pointy effect at that area. So the next thing I'll do now is to replace my darts that I took at the armhole. I measured it, it gave me 1.5 inches. So now at this last line of the dart, I'll extend it by 1.5 inches. Then I'll draw a straight line from this dart line now connecting to that 1.5 inches. Then on the armhole, I'll also come and replace the 1.5 inches I took. Then I'll connect. The next thing I'll do is to impute my round bodice measurement. The chest line already carried my bust measurement, which divided by 4. So I'll come to the under bust line now and impute the under bust measurement. The under bust measurement divided by 4 will give me 7.5. Then I will replace the 2 inches for that I took. Once that is done, I'll come to the half length and impute the round waist measurement. The round waist measurement divided by 4 will give me 8.25. Then I will also replace the dart I took. If you notice, I replaced all the dart allowance I took, both for the armhole and also for the under bust and the half length. So the next thing I'll do now is to impute my swing allowance of 1.5 inches. I will impute that at the armhole, and I also come to the under bust and impute 1.5 inches, and on the half length I'll do the same thing. Then I'll connect the measurement. I'll connect from the armhole down to the under bust, from the under bust down to the waistline. And our bodice is ready. The next thing I'll do now is to work on the neckline. Before I draft out the neckline, I'm going to cut out the pattern. I'll cut some part of this pattern so that it will be easy for me to work with. I hope you paid attention to how I cut it. So now I have my shoulder measurements. As you can see, I opened my pattern up. So at this side now, I'll come in by 3 inches. Then at this second side, I'll come in from the shoulder line by 2 inches. Now from this 3 inches, I'll come down by 7 inches. This depends on how deep you want yours to be. You can make it 6 inches, 5 inches. Now that I've marked the 7 inches, I'll connect from that 3 inches down to this 7 inches mark. Then I'll connect from that 2 inches down to that 7 inches this way. Now you can choose to have a curve like this. If you don't want a round curve like this, you can use a straight ruler to do it. Just connect it with a straight ruler and you get a sharp V. The next thing I'll do now is to create that nice curve at this side of the neckline. So I'll connect it this way and connect it down this way. Now if you don't want it to be sharp down the way it is, you can use the curve to get a nice curve this way again. So it all depends on what you want. So that's why I used 2 pictures on the thumbnail. So now you see why I had to open up the pattern. So I'll fold it up back so you see again. But before I cut, I'll be adding 1 inch sewing allowance at the hem of the bodice. Please pay attention to how I cut it so you'll be able to cut yours the same way. If you've watched to this point, thank you very much. Please drop a heart for me. Let me know that you watched this point. And please, if you've not subscribed, subscribe and click notification bell to get notified whenever I upload new videos. And don't go anywhere yet. I'm going to be showing you how to draft the back bodice. You notice I'm cutting the first lines first so that we'll see what it looks like. Then will you decide if this is what I want, and if this is not what I want, then I'll cut out the second curve. So now as you can see, this is what it looks like. So I'll go ahead now and cut out the second line so that I will achieve exactly what I want. So in order to cut the back bodice, I'll come down by 1 inch from the pattern paper to mark the starting line. Then I'll also go in by 1 inch for the zipper allowance. Now, if you are drafting your own pattern, you use 1.5 or 2 inches for your zipper allowance. From that zipper allowance, I'll go in and mark my shoulder measurement. At that shoulder measurement, I'll place my tape and mark my bust line and my waist line. Then I'll draw a straight line on that measurement to mark. Once I'm done with that, I will impute my dart line of 4 inches on the bust and also on the waistline. Then I'll connect. After I connect, I'll go to the shoulder line and impute a neck width of 3 inches. Then I'll come down by 1 inch at the shoulder measurement for the shoulder slope. Then I will impute my armhole measurement of 8 inches. Then I'll mark and connect from the shoulder slope down to the 8 inches. Then I'll also draw a straight line underneath it. After that, I'll look for the midpoint of the armhole and mark the midpoint. Then I'll draw a straight line to mark the chest line. Then I'll connect from the bust line up to that chest line. Then I'll take 0.5 inch on each side of that line. Then I'll connect it up to the chest line. I'll then impute the chest line measurement, which is the bust divided by 4. I'll now connect from the midpoint of the armhole down to the chest line measurement this way. Now, if you want a normal back bodice, this is how to do it. But if you want a Princess Dart back bodice, you go up by 1.5 inch from the midpoint of your armhole and connect it down to the dart line this way. So the next thing I'll do now is to impute the round bodice measurement. I already have the chest line measurement, so I'll add 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. Then I'll impute the waist measurement, also replace the dart allowance I took and add the 1.5 inch sewing allowance. After that is done, I'll connect from the waistline up to the chest line measurement. The next thing I'll do now is to draft the back neckline, but before I do that, I will cut the pattern, some parts out, so that it will be easy for me to do the neckline, just like I did for the front. So I'll open it up this way. I also went ahead to indicate the 1 inch I took for the zipper allowance at this side, so that we'll understand exactly what we are doing. If you remember, for this side of the shoulder, I came in by 2 inches, so I will mark the 2 inches. Then at the other side of the shoulder, I'll come in by 3 inches. I'm doing it this way because the neckline, the neck width of the front and the back bodies have to be the same. It doesn't matter the design you do for the back, but the most important thing is that the neck width should be the same. So now for the back neck depth, I'll come down by 2 inches. Then I'll connect from this neck width down to the 2 inches on the 2 sides. So it's just the neck width that is the same. The neck depth for the front is 7 inches, while the neck depth for the back is 2 inches. I hope you understand everything I've done so far. So the next thing I'll do now is to cut it out for you to see what it looks like. And I am done cutting. As you can see, the neckline is out. I hope you've enjoyed everything you watched so far. Please don't forget to subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and please hit the like button so the next person who is interested in this video will see it. Thank you so much.